Is there drama going on with the New York Knicks? Stephen A. Smith seems to believe so. And Jonathan Kuminga is set to make his return to the Golden State Warriors. How much does he strengthen that team that's already on a 5-game winning streak and they're running to the playoffs? We're going to talk about all that plus more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. I'm the host, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. And first off, I guess we got to talk about it. Cooper Flagg went down in a game today with an apparent ankle injury. He was taken into the back on a wheelchair, which seems like it was more of a precautionary issue. He was on the sideline after that with no brace, no nothing. He was able to put weight on it basically right after the injury happened as well. That's all signs of a good thing. Of course, wait to see what the doctors say. They probably already sent him back for scans and x-rays and things like that. And we'll see what ultimately happens with that. But overall, it does not seem like it's going to be something hugely alarming, right? But you just never know when it comes down to that, what's going to exactly happen. So, of course, look out for it. If any news drops on that, major news in regards to Cooper Flagg and his injury and his prospects for the draft or the NCAA tournament or anything like that, you guys know. We'll break it all down and more. You already know. If news drops, we drop. That's just the way it goes around here. But overall, outside of that, let's go ahead and get into this news. So, many have probably seen the quote by now where Mikal Bridges said that he mentioned to Tom Thibodeau that, hey, the bench unit's pretty good. Let's play those guys a little bit more. Basically, instead of riding your starters basically into the pine when it comes down to it. And that has now been taken by Stephen A. Smith and basically pointed to and asked the question, is there some drama going on with that? Stephen A. Smith said this. Tom Thibodeau is in trouble. He's in a world of trouble. I don't give a damn that the New York Knicks are 6-1 in overtime games. I don't care that Mikal Bridges, because I'm a diehard Knicks fan and he won the game last night. Molly Big Perk, prior to the game, Mikal revealed he had a private meeting with Tom Thibodeau about the starters playing too many minutes and the bench playing too little, saying, quote, sometimes it's not fun on the body. Tom Thibodeau proceeds to play the brother 41 minutes, put the ball in his hands, he delivered the goods, and they won the game, which is a good thing. But then Tom Thibodeau refused to acknowledge that there was a one-on-one conversation. He said it never happened. That's a player that the Knicks sent 5 picks away to bring to New York to pair with the superstar for the team, Jalen Brunson, his former teammate at Villanova. Okay? Say something opposite of what the coach is saying when everybody and their mother knows Bridges is right. Here's the thing. Tom Thibodeau never said that the conversation didn't happen. He said they didn't sit down and talk, right? That was the question that was presented there. Right, and even if that's said, who wants to reveal what happens in a no? You don't. You're not deserved or earned to know anything that happens in a private meeting between a player and a coach. Right now, here's the thing: is Mikal Bridges right? Yeah. Does Tom Thibodeau have a reason for doing what he's doing? I'm sure he does as well. When you look at getting into the playoffs, lineups restrict. Right now, I could say this, and I said this over on Locked On NBA as well, that this is the time period in March and April where you want to play your bench players, right? Because if you need to go to a matchup or something else in the playoffs we've seen weird matchups, unexpected matchups have sometimes dictated playoff series. Yes, going deeper into your bench is important, especially during the season. Yeah, you don't want to see your starters playing a whole heapage of minutes and things like that. Great for Mikal Bridges hitting the game-winning shot. He's a talent. You brought him in there to hit shots. You brought him in there to play defense. You brought him in there to do those things. But I think when you look at it, and if you're looking at it in the sense of, all right, what is going to be needed in the playoffs, they're going to the lineups get restricted in the playoffs anyway. You're probably playing your best 9, maybe 10 players if you're going super deep with that. Now, this is a time period where Jalen Brunson is out. You want to play guys a little bit more. You want to play Deuce a little bit more, things like that. You got Mitchell Robinson coming back. He's playing 19 minutes. He only played 9 players last night. I get that. You signed P.J. Tucker for what, right? He's not going to play. But all that said, at the end of the day, could there be something brewing for the New York Knicks? Here's the thing. I think if the New York Knicks get an early exit from the playoffs, everybody's going to point towards, oh, he's playing his players too much. If the Knicks actually end up going to an NBA Finals, there are going to be teams like, hey, listen, this team bonded together. It was it may not be a story. And that's just the nature of how sports reporting goes, right? And the truth is somewhere in the middle. Yes, the starters are playing a shit ton of minutes. Josh Hart, 42 minutes. OG Anunoby, 43 minutes. Mikal Bridges, 41 minutes, right? Like even a big in Karl Anthony Towns, 39 minutes. You could spread that out a little bit more, right? And so that's something that absolutely could look for, and that's something that other teams could look to exploit, because when you're playing on back-to-back nights, especially if you're playing against a team that gets out with a quick pace and things like that, yeah, those type of matchups and those type of minutes that you play could bite you in your ass. I think overall it comes down to this, right, is that minutes accumulated over a long period of time, that's what typically shows injury, right? Not if you're just playing a lot of minutes, but if you're playing a lot of minutes and that happens for a full season, that's where you start seeing the faltering at, right? And that's what the Knicks have to worry about. That's what all teams in the NBA are looking at and have to worry about. And we'll see ultimately what happens there with that. But I think, overall, I'm not saying yet for sure that there's drama brewing in New York. Do I think that this could be the basis of drama eventually brewing in New York? Yeah. But it could be if a team's losing anything, it could be the smallest of things that cause drama to start brewing with the franchise once you start losing, right? Or if you have disappointment, it could be anything. So, we'll see what happens there. As a Bulls fan, right, I know how Tom Thibodeau can run his starters into the ground. We know that. It's tiring. You look at that and you say, what the fuck, right? But I think overall, let's wait and see how it's going to go. They had a private conversation. Let's wait and see what comes of it. I know one game you're looking at it, but let's see what comes of it. With that said, talking about what comes of it, Jonathan Kuminga is ready to make his return. He's listed as probable for today's game on the Warriors sheet, but it seems like right now he's prepared to come back, right? He's been dealing with soreness. That's kind of going away. The rust that's been talked about is going away. That he is prepared to make his return back, and he's coming sooner rather than later, right? Things are pointing to his return against the Kings, if not shortly thereafter that. And the question that I want to talk about here is that with the way that the Golden State Warriors have been playing here recently, right? Winners of 5 in a row, 9 out of their last 10, all the things going. They're going from being outside the play-in to right now being the 6th seed in the Western Conference. They would avoid the play-in as things are going on right now, right? They've been playing great since Jimmy Butler has gotten there. And Jonathan Kuminga now, you're looking at him and saying, how much does he strengthen what the Golden State Warriors are trying to do in this run, right? Now, I've been somebody that said before that you have a motivated Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy's getting to the free throw line at a crazy rate, hitting them really good. You add 17 points from Jonathan Kuminga. You add what he's been able to do offensively. Yeah, there's going to be maybe some fit in times to get over the hump playing with Jimmy Butler. But you look at this team, when he's on the court, opposing teams are scoring negative 2.9 points worse per 100 possessions, right? Their effective field goal shooting percentage goes down 2.2%, right? Their turnover rate goes up. Now, the overall, the Golden State Warriors points per 100 possession also go down when Kuminga's on the court at negative 4.3. But I think now him having a more streamlined role, playing off Jimmy Butler, the chemistry that they've built here, Kuminga has an opportunity to come in here and bring some things that this team absolutely needs. With the team, you look at his almost a steal per game, right? His about a little over a half a block per game, right? So you're looking at what Kuminga does to help strengthen that Golden State Warriors team, and here's what I'm here to tell you. We'll see, right? Kuminga, when it comes down to it, he has upside, right? And he's bringing that upside to one of the hottest teams right now in the NBA. Now, Steve Kerr's already talked about it. He's not jumping right back into his old role when he comes back, which likely means he's going to be coming off the bench. That's good. Kerr said this. It's a really difficult thing when you're playing really well and then you have a key guy coming back. I think the idea to bring him along slowly, playing him in short bursts, help him get his rhythm back, but we got to keep playing Santos. We got to keep playing the guys who've helping us win right now. Usually this stuff has to kind of play out, so we'll hope it plays out. And that's all you have to do. As a coach, it's up to Steve Kerr to find a way to manage these guys, manage not only the rotation, but the personalities as well to make sure everybody can get on that same page. But I'm not too worried about it, right? I think Kuminga's going to come back, especially with this team now getting back to those aspirations of going on a playoff run. If Kuminga wants to win, and I think it's best for Kuminga's future as well, to come in here, fit in, and figure out what the future is going to be. Like, this Golden State Warriors team has a chance to be even better than what it's been over this stretch since Jimmy Butler has been there. And that's the scary part about this team, right? Is that they still have parts of their potential that they still can go a little bit further, right? And even with how long they've been together, even with that said, they still have a long part of what they can do and get better. when you look at this Golden State Warriors team over the last 20 games, they're 8th in net rating at plus 8.1, right? 7th in offensive rating at 119.8, 4th in defensive rating, right? They're playing really well, and they're spreading the ball out. Number 1 team in assist percentage in the league, 74% of the baskets are assisted on. That's huge. They're also 3rd in steals, right? 2nd in free throw rate, where Jimmy Butler and others are coming into place in this as well. 8th best in turnover percentage. They keep the turnovers down. This is a team that right now, 5-15 in their last 20, they are playing basketball the right way. And so wanting to incorporate a player like Kuminga, who has the upside to help raise the ceiling of this team, I know you're not putting a lot on just Jonathan Kuminga, of course, but he has the chance to drastically help what this basketball team is trying to do. And let's see if he can do it. Let me know what you guys think on that down below. Make sure you're following us at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number 1 spot for everything basketball related. And I'll see you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.